If you just don't know what to do with your damaged hair anymore, watch this video for targeted steps on how to finally fix it. Hey guys, it's Cam and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to give you lots of easy, targeted, little bit scientific steps that you can take at home to finally fix your damaged hair if you've been struggling with that. Basically, the way that I see it, if your hair isn't split, it's fixable. Now, obviously, if your hair has splits in it, like you could super glue them together and they will eventually end up coming apart, splitting up your hair shaft and just damaging the whole thing. But I know that a lot of people say that it's not possible to fix damaged hair, and I think that they just want to cut our hair, because when I go in to get a trim and ask for a little bit off the ends, I end up losing half my hair. So if it's split, obviously you gotta cut it. Try to cut it right above the split. But if it's not, I'm gonna show you how to fix it. And I just wanna give you a little bit of backstory on my hair. I started coloring my hair probably like 10 years ago. I think it was end of high school. And I started getting highlights. I went dark and I got highlights over that. And I think I even got a perm once and didn't like it and went home and washed it out immediately, which was really dumb. Don't ever do that, seriously. And so as you can imagine, my hair was absolutely fried. And I went to every beauty supply store I could and read like every message board online, looked at all the product recommendations, just trial and error for the past 10 years. And I finally kind of figured out what works for hair, what doesn't. And so even to this day, I kind of abuse my hair because, you know, in the quest to get blonder and blonder, I just like overlap my hair color a lot, which isn't the best thing to do to your hair. Do as I say, not as I do. But the reason that I do that is because I'm trying to avoid using bleach. And so I'm like right on that edge where high lift hair color works for me, but I kind of have to like overlap what I last did to get it as bright as I want and as light as I want. So eventually I figured out how to kind of still be able to not treat my hair the best, but fix whatever I do to mess it up. We subject our hair to a lot of damage daily. A lot of damage is done by styling your hair with heat tools. Even the wind can damage your hair, but probably the biggest culprit behind most people's cause of damage is chemical processes, which could be lightening, highlights, coloring, or yeah, even altering the structure of it, such as a perm. And so a lot of those processes work by increasing the pH of your hair. And if you don't kind of neutralize that and bring your pH down to what the hair is supposed to be, which is an acidic pH, then that might be all that's making your hair feel kind of out of whack. So if you've done any of those things to your hair recently and it's just kind of been feeling a little off, the very first thing that I recommend you do, and I just recommend this regardless if you have damaged hair, if you're coloring your hair, then absolutely do this after you rinse your color, and that is to seal your cuticle and optimize your hair's pH. For all you know, you might think your hair is damaged when it's actually not, and it's just a raised cuticle that's making your hair like not feel like it does usually. And so for some people, this may be all you need to do to just get your hair back to normal. So what I used to use up to a few months ago was the Roux Porosity Control. And you can actually get this at Sally's. It's really cheap. I think it's like 10 bucks. And you just apply it all over your hair. That one you leave on for, I believe it's 30 seconds to a minute. So it works really fast. It also has some conditioning agents in it, and I stopped using it because I felt like it was just a little too heavy on my roots, and that's like crazy for me to say because I use really heavy hair products usually, but it would just flatten my roots a little bit more than I liked, so I switched, and this is the product that I'm currently using. And this is the Joico K-PAK Cuticle Sealer pH Neutralizer. And on the back of the product, it even says that this is a pH 2.5 to 3.5. So I think that's a little more acidic than what your hair pH is supposed to be, which is 3.5 to 5.5. But this is just to like really lock that cuticle, you know, decrease the swell of the cuticle, and it really smooths your hair. It helps just lay your cuticle flat after you do anything to it. So this is something I do right after I rinse the color from my hair, and I basically will shampoo and then put this on immediately after shampooing, and this one you're supposed to leave on for 5 minutes. So then I set my timer for 5 minutes and rinse it out. And if I ever feel like my hair just is kind of swelling from humidity too much, then I'll repeat this process, but I generally don't do this more than like another time before I do my roots again. Because this is something that I just kind of stick to always doing after coloring my hair, just to bring that pH down. And this is something that you should do every time you color your hair, because that process will just always increase the pH of your hair. So you do want to use something like this to bring that pH back down. And if you don't believe me, I even have a testimony right here. Everyone meet my husband, Anthony.
Hey guys, I'm Anthony, Cam's husband. So I just want to tell you a little bit about my experience with coloring my hair. Basically, after we do Cam's roots, if there's a little bit of color left over, I'll go ahead and put it through the tips of my hair to, lighten it up a little. The first time I did this, I showered and noticed that my hair felt really weird afterwards, is the best way to describe it. It was like rough and jagged. So I asked my wife about it, and she said, that my cuticle's open and that I need to use this pH thing that she's talking about in her video, and that's gonna, make my hair feel normal again. Obviously, I'm not concerned about fixing my hair, because it being damaged and whatever, because I'm just gonna end up chopping it off. But this is really just the texture of my hair that was bothering me. It just felt really weird. I didn't like the way it felt. So after using that, my hair felt, silky smooth and basically back to normal. So I just wanted to let you guys know about my experience with it, because she's talking about it in her video. So I hope that's helpful, and I'll let her take over.
See guys, it's a very important step. And so the second thing that I recommend, and I would kind of call this optional, because if you're going to do a lot of standalone treatments with it, it can get pricey, but I'm sure you've all heard of Olaplex. And so I use the Olaplex number 1 and 2, which I've already done a whole video about, and I'm going to link that up here, and you can just see what tips and tricks I use to really make the Olaplex penetrate your hair and make a bigger difference in your hair. Because I've seen a lot of stuff online about how it's very hit or miss for people, and I just think that if it's used properly and often enough, then it's going to make a really big difference in your hair. So make sure to check that video out, because I really think it's going to help you get better results from using Olaplex. And again, while I don't think it's necessary, because if you do a lot of standalone treatments with it, then it can get pricey, but I definitely recommend it to help speed up the hair's healing process. And personally, I haven't been able to get my hair back to that near virgin quality without it, having done all the other steps. So if that's really what you're trying to achieve, then yeah, I definitely recommend getting some Olaplex. So even though it's expensive, it's definitely worth it. And if you feel like your hair is both damaged and frizzy, then I recommend doing a Kerastase treatment, which I'll be doing a video on probably in 2 weeks. So I'm gonna be doing that video soon, and when it's done, I'm gonna link it up here, or you guys can subscribe and hit the notification bell so that way you don't miss out on that video once it's up. So the next big step is doing protein treatments. And if you have damaged hair, then this is a must-do step, preferably after you go ahead and seal your cuticle. And if you're gonna do it in conjunction with Olaplex, then I would do your Olaplex standalone treatment first and follow it up with protein, and then of course moisturize after. So yeah, this is probably the biggest culprit if your hair is just absolutely fried, is that it doesn't have enough protein. And so I absolutely recommend doing protein treatments to remedy that. And so the end all be all of protein treatments that I absolutely recommend you go out and get, especially if your hair is in such critical condition that you just want to be done with it and chop it off, is the Aphogee 2-step protein treatment. And this claims, and actually does, just stop your hair breakage, and they recommend that you do it every 6 weeks. And again, that's because protein really shouldn't be a daily thing that you do to your hair, because you can very easily overdo it, and once you do have too much protein buildup, it's going to do the opposite to your hair, and then you're going to end up with more breakage and dryness because you've just over proteinized your hair. So basically there's diminishing returns when it comes to protein treatments. If you overdo it, you're gonna end up with, again, hair that's stiff, crunchy, and like dried out feeling. So make sure to just kind of do it as needed. It's not something that I recommend doing every time you shower. Another protein treatment that I know a lot of people use and love is the Joico K-PAK Reconstructor treatment. And again, that's not like a daily conditioner. Just do it as an intense protein treatment whenever you feel like your hair is getting too damaged. And with both of these, the Aphogee two-step is called two-step because you're supposed to moisturize afterwards. Otherwise, coming out of the shower, yeah, your hair is not going to feel smoothed because of all the protein. So you're supposed to use a heavy moisturizing conditioner or mask after. And I do know that the Joico K-PAK has a second step, which is the intense hydrator. And again, that one kind of like hydrates after the Reconstructor, which is the protein treatment, and just makes sure that your hair doesn't feel crunchy. And once you feel like your hair isn't in that like absolute critical condition, or like me, for example, it's about to get freezing in the Northeast over here, so I don't necessarily want to get out of the shower and be doing my Aphogee two-step and freezing my butt off. So I'm about to go out and get the Aphogee 2-minute Reconstructor, which is a lighter protein treatment, so you can use if you don't feel like your hair is quite as damaged anymore, or maybe you just want to do it in between your Aphogee two-step treatments as an extra boost of protein if your hair is really damaged. But so yeah, I'm about to go and get the Aphogee 2-minute, and I'm probably going to leave it in my hair for 5 minutes. They say to do that if your hair is extremely damaged. And I remember using it in the past. I've actually used it before. And yeah, that's kind of what gave me the best results from that one. So the next big step is to make sure that your hair has enough moisture in it. And this is something that I recommend not only after using a protein treatment, which, as you'll see, a protein treatment will kind of harden your hair. And so moisturizing your hair is what actually makes it feel really, really soft. And it's very hard to overdo moisturizing your hair, so it's what I recommend you use every time you shower, whether it's a conditioner or a mask. I recommend mostly using moisturizing products for everyday use. And of course, always after a protein treatment, hence the whole two-step process. And if your hair is damaged, especially with heat tools, if you kind of like see your hair steaming sometimes, that's actually the moisture evaporating from your hair when you use heat tools. So if you moisturize, then you're not going to get as much dryness when you do heat style it. Ingredients to look for in moisturizing masks would be like shea butter or like all the argan oil, macadamia oil products. So basically like, you know, oils or shea butter, ceramides, those are all very good moisturizing ingredients. And so you really want to find a mask that's very moisture heavy. If it has like hydrolyzed wheat protein or keratin at the top of the ingredients, then it's going to be more of like a reconstructive mask and protein mask. So definitely look for something that kind of doesn't have as much protein and is just super moisturizing. So what I've personally been using lately, and I talked about this a little bit in my hair care routine video, which I'm going to be linking up here. So check that video out if you want to see what I do daily to take care of my hair. And that mask is the Kerastase Oleo Relax Slim Mask. Now that one's pretty expensive. Another staple that I have that I actually used quite a while ago, and then I was actually looking through Guy Tang's Instagram recently, like in his way older posts, and saw that he had this and the Revitalux on his back bar, and so I went out and repurchased again after quite a number of years, the Joico Moisture Recovery Treatment Balm, and this is for thick, coarse, dry hair. And this is a mask that I love as well. I've always had really good results from it, and this is definitely a cheaper price point than buying anything Kerastase, and I'm pretty sure that you can get this at Ulta, and I believe it's about 20 bucks. So this is another really great moisturizing treatment or mask that you want to do that will soften your hair. And as far as drugstore masks go, I've used and loved the Shea Moisture masks, but the only issue that I've had with them is I believe they don't use silicones in any of their products, and so I've usually had to go in with something with silicones after, to really make my hair smooth and tangle free. So I just kind of stopped buying them and just started buying masks that I know have silicones. So find a good moisturizer that works for you and your hair type, and that's what I would recommend you use every time you shower. And so to really kick up the moisture and restoration of your hair, I know that a lot of people on here recommend coconut oil. And I myself personally like to use coconut oil if I'm gonna go swimming at like the pool or beach to kind of, put a hydrophobic shield on my hair so that way the chlorine and the salt can't really penetrate my hair and damage it. Or I may go in and use it as a pre-poo treatment sometimes if I just need something quick and easy. But if your hair is like really, really damaged, then you need the mother of all oils, and that's castor oil. So castor oil is really thick, as you're gonna see, and you can use it in a couple of different ways. If you're really afraid that it's gonna weigh your hair down, then I recommend mixing it 50-50 with some coconut oil, because otherwise, you're not even gonna be able to smooth it down your hair because it has absolutely no slip. So mix it with the coconut oil and use it as a pre-poo treatment. Or what I like to do is when I'm gonna use a moisturizing mask in the shower, I will put a quarter size amount of the castor oil right in the palm of my hand and mix it with whatever mask I'm gonna use, and then spread that through my hair because that gives it the slip, so it has that spreadability. And so an added bonus that's really great about castor oil is that it makes your hair grow like crazy. Seriously, I probably cut, I like to do weekly trims on my hair, so I will do probably a quarter inch off the ends, and then I'll also do a dusting to make sure that I'm not missing any split ends that might have traveled up my hair shaft. And check out Elle Bang's channel. She has a lot of great tips on how to do dustings and how to sort of, cut the damaged parts of your hair while retaining length. But I do the castor oil a lot, and I've noticed so much hair growth that it's no matter how much I'm cutting off the ends, I don't ever feel like they're getting any shorter. And my roots are coming in so much sooner. I would go 4 to 5 weeks before to do my roots, and now I literally have to do them every 2 to 3 weeks, or else they get really long, and that's just not a look that I like on myself. So I don't know if I'd call this desirable because I have to do my roots so often, but I found that castor oil works better than biotin, coconut oil, anything else people are recommending for growing your hair long. Castor oil, again, is the end-all be-all of getting your hair to grow long. So if you really want your hair to get long and shiny, then I definitely recommend trying to incorporate castor oil in some form into your hair care routine. Shea Moisture has a line with castor oil, and they have a shampoo and mask. So if you don't want to mix it into stuff, then just go out and get that. And those are two really, really good products that I've tried, and they actually do give your hair a good amount of slip. I haven't had too many, detangling issues with those products. So the castor oil that I've been using recently is the Instant Natural Organic Castor Oil. And I don't think that you necessarily need to go out and get an organic one or one, specifically made for hair. You can probably get it at drugstores. I know it's used for some medicinal purposes, but basically what I would do is just get whatever's cheapest per ounce. So that's it, you guys. I'm, as always, going to go out, try to find these or comparable products on Amazon and link those in the description box for you so you don't have to go hunting for them. And if you have any questions or, concerns about using any of these or just issues with your hair, definitely don't hesitate to comment down below with any questions or issues that you may have, and I'll definitely check it out and respond and offer any help that I can. So let me know if you've tried any of these and if any of them have been helpful for you. And also let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see, because if you want to see it, I want to make it. So if you guys like this video and found it helpful and you liked it, then like the video. Go down below and like the video, because I find that helpful. And I think at this point, there's 2 videos down here that you can check out, so click one of these. I think my face should be popping up, right here. So click on my face and it'll subscribe you to my channel, so that way you don't miss out on any of the future videos that I'm going to put up. So I hope you guys like the video, and I'll see you next time.